And we are
live, I believe.
live action.
Okay, can you check
No.
on? Okay, can you check on YouTube Relive?
No.
We aren't. Probably haven't connected just yet because I just hit the button. Close. You sure it hasn't?
I don't know. We're live.
Yeah, we are.
We are. Why did you send me those typhoons?
What do you mean? Those icons?
Why did you send me those categories?
Cause those are the icons I use in the
Couldn't
post
you
with
put?
their
Can't
icons.
you like put it on? You know you can put it on the screen, right?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just leave it. This
Here,
is
let's do it next time. Let's do it next stream.
okay. All
Next
right.
stream we'll do it.
This
But
is
right now, because
bro. This is Super Typhoon Gaemi. It's rapidly intensified, not according to really anyone's prediction. It's now likely a Category 5 equivalent storm, according to velocity estimates and on radar. There's also significant evidence for 155 miles an hour, but we are going 160. It's almost definite that this will become an official Category 5 at this point, just because it has so much more time left right now, and a lot of the readings do support 155. But judging on velocity estimates, we will go 160. We are going 160. The band, it definitely has gotten a little smaller since it has formed, but since
this
the
is
last
America.
live stream. You can see it on the visible satellite loop here. Definitely see that eye hasn't fully cleared out again yet. It did go through a little bit of an eye wall replacement cycle, but it is now intensifying again and moving towards the northern part of Taiwan here. The JTWC is going 130 knots, I believe, or 125. I don't know exactly,
When the you
but all of the official estimates have been behind on the system. So
But for us, it's a 160, 165 around there. Maybe.
there is a little bit of support for 165, but
Not really that much, I say.
yeah, there's not that much support. I mean, there was one 145 not reading, but that was really it. There is a lot of support for 160, of
So
course.
Taiwan, Taipei are getting a lot of rain bands, and
Yeah,
yeah.
it is a little cleared out on the northwestern side, but the bands are good. It's definitely gonna make a landfall. It's since it's still so big, it's starting to look very likely that the wind field will cover all of Taiwan at this point. Because
I
if
wonder
it, cause
how
if
I wonder how like the NWS tracks future.
yeah, 935 millibars according to official estimates. There was a
Yo,
one oh there was one 120 knot reading. Our agency's going with
dude, look
we're
in
going with
India.
nine.
Hold on, go on Wendy and look in India, bro. I'm confused.
Is the monsoonal trough there?
Look in India. You see that rhythm perfectly. Try.
I think it's just a radar glitch. Yeah, it's just a radar glitch. That's really it.
Because I was confused. There's no way you can get like a straight rectangle.
Yeah. If you looked on satellite, you would see it's just a radar glitch. Definitely see a lot of lightning in these bands here. Still, that one upper level low.
Yeah.
There is one weird upper level low here. That's not it shouldn't be associated with the system. It isn't really
Yeah.
normal, but it is associated with Gamey, and it's moving further away. It's likely gonna give Praparoon even more shear. You can see Praparoon. It's now a remnant low, just completely falling apart over Vietnam right now. And I said this in the last stream, but I'm pretty sure a lot of Filipino states are still in a state of emergency right now because of the enhanced monsoonal trough because of Gaemi moving through. But we are going with 160 miles an hour, 930 millibars. This has seen a
Definitely
lot
not
of its
playing
bliss.
Fortnite while on stream. Anyways, so I think so. Pepperoni is gone.
Yeah, it's not completely gone. It's a remnant low, but
Well, it's not
very.
completely gone. It's just like, huh?
It's about to be
I
gone.
already did.
It's like about to be gone.
You can't.
Definitely a lot
The
of the,
apple.
especially a lot of the islands around um north of Luzon are getting hit very hard by this band right here. This band absolutely blew up, and while Gamey has been organizing, we're definitely starting to see some green frames. So I imagine in the next couple frames we will see a fully cleared out eye from Gamey here. It's
I
Ishigaki
mean,
and Yonaguni are likely getting hit pretty hard right now. Of course, the Chilean islands. It's expected to make a landfall at around the Taipei area, probably a little south of that, about a little bit south of that province right there. It's tracking a little bit north, as you can see. Earlier, it was forecasting almost a direct hit on Taiwan, but yeah, it is still is huge, so doesn't really matter. The entire island of Taiwan will likely be in a at least 58-mile-an-hour wind field. At least that's what it's looking like right now. Miyakojima might be starting to get hit pretty hard. Heavy downpours are likely going on in northern Miyakojima right now. Trauma Ishigaki will probably see this get worse for a lot of these islands. We
almost
we
died.
we are not we this could still strengthen a little bit more. It's very possible
Very
that
impossible.
it almost has until it makes landfall that you could see a lot of strengthening. Only thing that this could stop it from strengthening anymore, which also might be ultimately worse, is if it does an eye wall replacement cycle. Eye wall replacement cycle. So that would, if a lot of people don't know what an eye wall replacement cycle is, it's where it sort of collapses its eye wall and resets it again. And that allows for more strengthening in the future. But this will get a lot of land interaction, so we won't likely see that. It'll help the structure. It is very eye wall replacement cycle prone, and
Wait.
Ăn đi con. Đi. Đi đi. Đi đâu. Đi con nha.
This is a pretty embarrassing. What
yeah.
was that for?
We're seeing some blue frames start to appear in the eye.
I'm gonna die now.
Definitely clearing out pretty quickly. You can see if I zoom in closely here, you can see the blue frames here. Not fully cleared out yet. You can see on the visible.
Oh, thank God I'm still alive.
It's very close though. It's likely going to come out and be a pinhole again. It was a pinhole earlier. Kind of had a big convection burst to its south, I think, which you can see that's why the south side is so big. I'm pretty sure that sort of overtook the eye, but it is setting itself back up again. But if this does do an eye wall replacement cycle, it could get way bigger, and that could even expand the wind field, which could be a lot worse for Taiwan and China if this does end up getting bigger. Some more banding is starting to hit more of Taiwan now. You saw that first wave come in. Another big burst of convection might get more into the southwestern part of that island. Or southwestern part. If you're in like along the coast, if you're along the coast of China, you could start seeing some banding start to approach and likely hitting you right now. Let's pull up the weather radar. You can definitely see just how defined of a structure this is, really. And you can definitely see the eye clear out some rain in it.
My last rope just went viral.
Miyakojima is definitely getting hit pretty hard right now by these outer bands. All of Taiwan is likely getting rainfall right now. Alright, so let's look at some of the possibilities if this doesn't weaken. And if it doesn't do an eyewall placement cycle. So if this doesn't do an eyewall placement cycle, this will already be a very, very catastrophic storm for Taiwan and obviously China moving forward.
So I think this would be one of the strongest storms of the Pacific season. Western Pacific.
Yeah, this is the strongest so far. It's been the strongest. Second is
It's not.
Winnie, which that obviously
Oh
peaked
my
at
God.
105. Huh? VT, your mic's cutting out.
Sorry, I just died.
Odd. But okay, so yeah, you can definitely see that there's enhanced rain going on in the secondary eye wall right now, especially in the inner eye wall. This is just.
You want me to eat so bad?
God love you.
It's just an insane storm.
We want to eat hot pot when we go over there.
I'll let this run for a couple frames. No. So if it doesn't do an eyewall placement cycle, we could see window failure would be likely at that point. If it keeps strengthening up until landfall, we will definitely see window failure, door failure because of winds pushing up against your doors. Shingles may be ripped off. I know I said all of this in the last stream, but it keeps getting worse, honestly. If I want to be completely honest with you.
Not nice. This rope just went viral.
Taipei might be getting a heavy rain band right now.
Logan?
Yep.
We're still streaming. Right?
Yeah.
Am I dead? How much reboot are happening?
Definitely more blue frames appearing in the eye. Let's look at some of these models and we'll see. And we'll see where the storm can go after its landfall. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Alright. So let's look at the GFS, what they're calling for the system. I accidentally clicked Paparoon. That is my fault. I almost accidentally clicked 93. Okay. So they're expecting an eyewall placement cycle to occur right before landfall and has it weakening quite a bit before an actual landfall, but 938 to 952 because of an eyewall placement cycle. See if we see that better on the simulated IR. Yeah, you can definitely see that eye wall fall apart. Definitely, right before it makes landfall. Then it sort of gets, and since it tries to do that right before landfall, it gets demolished by wind shear. You can obviously see on this what demolished by the mountains of Taiwan, and landslides could also be a problem for this.
There's gotta be cars somewhere.
ECMWF.
There's one.
The ECMWF is obviously lowballing this system right here. They're only expecting 962 millibars peak, which the ECMWF is low. It does sometimes like to lowball systems here. But let's look at the HWRF. They sort of expected the huge pressure drop and expected a peak of 929 knots, so around 150 miles an hour. Of course, it exceeded that expectation.
Huh?
Had it doing a mini eye wall replacement cycle for making landfall in the way northern part of Taiwan, then delivering more impacts to China. Let's look at the HMON. They don't have it. I swore they had it earlier. Look at the half A, what they thought of the system. They are expecting it to rapidly intensify before landfall. And they are expecting 146 knot peak, so around 167 miles an hour. This is sort of worst case if it rapidly intensified before landfall. Then it makes it landfall at 150 miles an hour before not holding its pressure in the 950s. It ends up making it 960 and then moves on to the next extratropical system. That's every system. That's every model that has it. So let's check the CMC. They don't have their 12Z run up yet. Okay. Never mind, they do have it. This is an older run. They're expecting just 974 millibars, then landfall. They are lowballing it. But they do have that system forming behind that. That could be an interest for northern Luzon and China eventually. Maybe even Taiwan, because this was once forecasted to make a direct landfall on China before any, not a Taiwan one. See with the icon, they expected to wrap an intensification before landfall. It does stall off the coast a little bit, do an hour replacement cycle, then makes a complete landfall and stalls over China. Not and of course the NavGem doesn't always get the winds right, but they did predict the wind. They do predict the wind field to be completely over Taiwan, right? Completely over Taiwan, and you can obviously tell it's not that reliable because it has it moving south into Vietnam. But it also does have a system behind it forming, another system behind it. So a system behind Gaemi could be an area of interest to watch eventually. JMA not the most reliable of models, of course, only 980 millibars. So Typhoon Gaemi. See if we can see any cleared out eye on the true color. No, you can definitely see it start to you can definitely see it start to clear out, definitely. Very quickly. It's definitely getting very close. We're expecting this to pass just through the northern part. I know you. I say this a bunch, but I know you've already seen you see the track with the cone up on the north part of my screen, but I'll zoom in on it here. JWC is now calling for 125 knots. Of course, official estimates are behind. Hello. But something interesting that this model run does have is that it has it holding severe typhoon strength as it makes landfall in China, which That's very possible. If it does strengthen a lot, it could just stay as a major hurricane equivalent storm. A major hurricane equivalent storm. They're forecasting a peak of 125 knots, so 145 miles an hour. They they are behind. They are behind, but it does have it tracking way north again. It has center almost tracking over maybe the southwestern part of Taipei, which could be the worst case scenario. As if this passes right over, they might experience um hurricane force wind fields for a very long time, for at least maybe 12 hours. Definitely here's the GFS ensemble. Course still now predicting that very north Taiwan landfall. Some models tracking right over Taipei. And then it's starting to trend that this won't go that much southward. It'll likely pick up, it'll either move like but barely northwest and then curve back. That's an option. Or it might just make landfall in China and then move straight north. But the consensus is obviously this black line right here.
Damn.
We
You've been talking a lot.
I'm talking. The GPS
No,
track
me
has
talking.
it taking that sort of just northwest track and then curving back northeast. It does. It's one odd thing about the GPS. The GPS is just it just has it almost completely missing Taiwan, which is seems very unlikely right now. But it's just something worth looking at.
But it's most likely gonna hit Taiwan.
It's
We
almost
we
it's
not,
almost it's almost certain that it'll make a landfall in Taiwan at this point.
but like it could make an unexpected slight turn.
It could
But
if it because it has been a little trending that it does stall off the coast, but if it I would be very surprised if this doesn't make a landfall.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did make rainfall.
I would be surprised if it doesn't make landfall.
It probably will.
So yeah, you see that eye definitely clearing out a little bit more. Of course, this upper level low is right next to Hong Kong at this point. Let's pull up windy radar and see if there's any more blue frames. Definitely very close to getting cleared right here. Yeah, like some dark blue frames are starting to occur here. Not surface yet, not completely cleared, but very close. You can definitely see very close to being cleared out at this point. 9:31 p.m. Yes, EDT. Ishigaki is likely in the secondary eye wall right now. Miyakojima's likely getting hit with heavy band right now. Heavy sort of middle band, kind of.
You okay? Are you okay? Why do you have to do that? Because we feel what? Any stuff he might have a kidney stone. Huh? Yeah.
And so yeah, Miyakojima's getting hit pretty hard. Some places in maybe Tokonoshima might be getting hit with some very outer bands. They're a little weaker, but some tropical depression force winds maybe are still likely. You definitely see this enhanced monsoon still causing lots of lightning and flooding. Let's look at some of this possible rainfall, right?
Yeah.
Rain accumulation. You can definitely see just how much rainfall is being dropped over these areas. You can definitely see because of the enhanced monsoon, a lot of these mountainous areas get around 7 inches of rain here. Here goes on
5 to
City, it gets
6
up back to 5.
or
And then Taiwan, this is where it gets really bad. This is where it gets to 24 inches because of Gaemi. That's almost 2 feet of rain that the ECMWF is expecting. That is absolutely
that's something
horrible.
we don't want. That's something we don't want.
And
That's
this could
something we
be,
experience.
yeah,
That's something we experience in Katrina.
definitely see around this point it's a pot of 16. And then especially around the southern parts, like around 20 inches, gets up to 27 inches in that one spot. Around here, it's around 20 inches. And of course, getting into China, if we'll be able to see what it does in China if we go in the next 5 days. Of course, we'll see it. Apparently, what the ECMWF is expecting to drop a lot of rain over this part here on 6 inches. But as it becomes the next tropical system, it drops around up to 18 inches in near Beijing right here, and that could be very bad for the capital. Let's look at the GFS, what they're expecting. Over the next 3 days, this is our first thing. They're expecting up to 5 inches here, 5, 6 inches, so around the same thing um as the ECMWF. Still that same thing, getting up to around 2 feet in some parts of Taiwan here. So this is a very dangerous situation. It gets up to around 6 inches in Naha, a little less rainfall in Miyakojima, which it seems pretty unlikely right now. And then let's look at the next 5 days. We'll see what it does in the Beijing area. Up to 10 inches of rain, you'll likely see around the Beijing area. Has this little front right here, and around maybe up to 10 inches again in this border here with China and North Korea. Let's look at the icon. See what they're picking up for the next 3 days. Let's see, around 15, same thing, getting up to 20 inches. For some reason, it has this little sweet spot right here, around 1 inch. And then 5 days, we'll see what this does in the Beijing area. Of course, carries out a ton of rainfall, 7, 8 inches up here. And then, of course, up to 10 a foot in the next, in near the Beijing area. Of course, still dropping a lot of rain. Not a lot of as much rainfall as the GFS suggested around the North Korea and Taiwan area, the North Korea and China border. And definitely a lot of rain just being dropped. Let's look at the MSM. Definitely see not the best of models, but you can definitely see a lot of rain being dropped by Gaemi, and some of it extending into Taipei. Of course, a lot of rainfall around this area. Next 3 days, you can definitely see it gets up to around 23 and even 77 inches, 4 feet. This is the very worst case scenario model run. Enough 4 inches here. So in this scenario, southern Taiwan, it just gets absolutely devastated in this one. Let's look at some of these wave heights. The heck? Oh. ECMWF. It says up to 30 feet in the center of Gaemi right here. Of course, a lot of these waves continue around 20 feet. Picks back up to around 27 feet. Southern part right here, 27 feet, 30 feet, 31, 31, and then this 31-foot waves get even closer to the coast. This is 19 up here. 25 feet waves hit the coast. 18. So that is a very bad wave total for that's the that the ECMWF is predicting. GFS, we'll look at the GFS model here. See what it's picking up here. They're picking up around 38 feet waves generated by the system. See, in the next couple hours, these waves will travel towards Taiwan. Picks up 30 feet, around 26 near the surface, 22, 19, 18, 23, 27, 30 if you get out into the land, get out into the open. 25 feet is basically the max that you see for this. The CWM's the JMA model, I believe. You can definitely see it's picking up the 38 feet waves. 38, 30, 40, up to 40 feet, 45, and then those 30-foot waves hit this island. And the 37-foot around 17, right next to Taiwan here, in the northern part of Taiwan, up to 20 feet, 25 feet right at the coastline. Check the icon. Oh shoot, the icon doesn't have anything. But you definitely see on the rain and thunder map, you can definitely see this eye wall. Shoot, I messed up. Definitely see this southern eye wall just being extremely strong, at least on this icon here.
When it's been 40 minutes of streaming.
Very strong. And then a lot of this rainfall just sits over Taiwan. Goes the southern side. Let's the ECMWS. Let's see what they're predicting for the eye wall. You see the eye wall definitely wraps on the ECMWF model. And then that's when a lot of the rain hits Taiwan here, especially the southern part of Taiwan. Southern part of Taiwan will definitely have a lot of flooding. All of Taiwan will have a lot of flooding. MSM, they were forecasting lots and lots of rainfall. We should be able to see Gaemi on the landfall here and what they're expecting. Of course, this is 6 inches and downpouring, especially throughout Taiwan here. All right, let's check the GFS here. Not the best of models. Definitely see
What?
you can definitely see Gamey continuing to wrap there on this GFS and then delivering lots and lots of rainfall to Taiwan. It seems to be the consensus here, obviously. But interesting trend is that it loses its cloud cover as it moves over Vietnam and it tries to wrap again in the between China and Taiwan. That seems to be a trend, and that is all the models for this. So I'll pull back up the IR satellite for Gamey and run this for a little bit. And run this a little bit more before we close the stream off. Definitely see that eye clearing out. We will be doing even more live coverage on it later today. Well, no, not later today. Later tomorrow. Well, tomorrow. Let's take a look at some of these other systems that are going on. Definitely see in the Eastern Pacific 10, 20, 30, 30. This system was designated Invest 93, Invest 93E. You definitely see the Central Pacific is very dead, as it should be really. See those two systems on there. Let's look at Prepperoon a little bit. Where you can see Prepperoon definitely falling apart here. Should be falling apart. Definitely is at this point. Is 94W still alive? No, not 94W is not designated anymore. An interesting feature that I wanted to talk about a little bit was a system in the Gulf of Mexico that I wanted to talk about a little bit.
Logan?
It's an air. Yeah, I know how long we've been streaming for, V2.
No. It's just that, but like I'm trying to play Fortnite, but they won't let me join because I'm not in their call. But I'm still gonna stream with you, just for a little bit more, right?
You're so weird. Yeah, I will. You can definitely see the system in the Gulf of Mexico. It's associated with an upper level trough. This is a surge of moisture. It has a little bit of chance of developing as it gets. It's supposed to like kind of ride the Texas coastline here, and then it won't and it likely won't organize. Of course, we're seeing a lot of decreased thunderstorm activity. Look at the Atlantic wide. You can definitely see a lot of tropical waves that are moving through. One that just crossed in the Eastern Pacific. Pretty sure this is one right here that's just off the southeast coast. Not a lot of organizing going on. I mean, they are better looking tropical waves at the end of the day. See a nice low pressure system up there, but it's missing convection. '93E, nothing special, just decrease elongated convection, really. Alright, and we will be closing stream for the day, actually. That should be it. My heart goes out to those who are in Taiwan and all of those who are being affected by Gamey right now. I do. Please stay safe. Thank you for watching, and